The US Department of Homeland Security has until today to decide whether they will release Prince Harry's American visa application.
Yes, the think tank Heritage Foundation says the application is of immense public interest in light of the Duke of Sussex's confessions of illicit drug use.
Well, let's now speak to human rights lawyer David Haigh on this one. David, what are the chances of these details being revealed?
I think, well, already they've applied to various other departments which have rejected them, and so I think this is one of the remaining kind of departments that hasn't yet. They've said they've not made up their mind whether or not they will disclose these details, and obviously the hearing today, the judge has given them a period of time until today to make that decision. So I think it unlikely for various reasons, but I suppose we'll see in a few hours.
Unlikely because he could be found to have been given special treatment, and that doesn't go down well.
Yeah, I think, bearing in mind, like I said, that some of the other departments already said no, so it looks unusual that they would do this. And as you said, Isabel, it will create a rather sticky situation for them, I imagine. But obviously that's something that we would hope wouldn't go into the US judiciary, though, so I guess we'll see. But it's certainly a very, very concerning situation.
And David, if it were to go against him, if the details were to be released and if they were found not to be favourable, what are the options that could happen to the Prince?
Well, I mean, technically it could be very, very serious. I mean, one of the interesting things is whether or not he still has a diplomatic passport and whether or not he's exempt from any breaches of laws in various countries. And that's something that we as Brits, I think, need to look into. But it could be a very serious thing. It's effectively perjury. If he's obtained a visa knowingly lying, then that's perjury, and that's a criminal offence.
And do we know of any other instances of high-profile people who've been denied visas or access to the States because of drug use?
Yeah, I think it was about 10 years ago. I think we all remember Nigella Lawson when she was involved in the dispute with her former husband, who admitted taking drugs, I think cocaine from memory. And she was initially denied entry, I believe, at the airport, and then later on was invited to apply through the embassy and did that. And obviously, has been to the US since. And there's others. We all remember, I'm sure, Amy Winehouse. So there are, there is a track record of people being denied and allowed, and people taking drugs going into the US, obviously. But obviously, in terms of Harry's case, it's become very, very high profile. And one would imagine that if he has lied on those visa documents, why that wasn't picked up when the book was published.